Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Well, hello there, everybody. It is yet another Friday, and it's Good Friday, and it's April the 3rd, 2026, and we are here live right now on the Inspiration Station with none other than Joshua Lenox, your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. I am so glad to be here, y'all. Welcome to the month of April. We are here, the fourth month already, y'all. We are just coming out swinging and continuing to keep the momentum going, and we're rolling, ooh, rolling. We just rolling on the river, like Tina Turner said. But I'm so glad to be here, y'all. As y'all are coming in, please let me know how your day has been, how your week has been. Let me know some great, exciting things that have happened for you since we met last week. And also let me know if there's any challenges that you have overcome so far this week, because you're always going to overcome your challenges. We overcome what seems to try to come over us. So hello to everybody out there on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, Instagram Live, and our beautiful and wonderful listeners on Spotify, Apple, and Audible. Come in here as fast as y'all can, because as fast as you come in, as fast as I'm going to send you back out. I hope that everybody is enjoying the weather wherever you are. Hopefully it's nice. Hopefully it's beautiful. Hopefully it's warm. I am not a person who really likes heat for a long period of time, but I don't mind it as long as it remains consistent and as long as I have the option to put on air wherever I am. But I'm enjoying it. Sometimes I'm almost forgetting, is it spring finally now, or are we almost lingering into summer because of some of the things I see already with how people are dressing and stuff? I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It's warm outside, but hold on, calm down just a little bit. But I hope that you guys are amazingly excited about what we're going to talk about today, because you don't know what we're going to talk about today, but I do. So just hold on a second and buckle your seatbelts and get ready for what we're going to talk about. But if this is your first time, this is not your last time. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're going to continue to come and be with us every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a great time, don't we, y'all? Y'all tell everybody in the comments how you have a wonderful time here, a great time. You better say that you're having a great time, or it's going to be a situation, and we'll put everybody in timeout. But we have an amazing time here, because what the Inspiration Station is that we are all an inspiration to not only others in our lives, but we're an inspiration to ourselves. And again, it's not about this vessel that you're hearing talking, it's about you as well, because you are an inspiration to many, and also the person that you see in that mirror of yours. And if you think that you're not, you have so many things to look back over your life and be reminded that you can do anything you put your mind to. You can go to the highest mountain peak, and you can also go through the lowest valley and still come out great, still come out wonderful, still come out a conqueror, no matter what you go through. So you're an inspiration as well. We're here, we're not just motivating and encouraging and inspiring, but we are definitely moving towards some level of action. And sometimes the action starts within our thoughts before we move our feet. We also are open, we're honest, and we're vulnerable. We practice those things, right? Y'all are three things that we really practice. We're being open, we're being honest, we're being vulnerable with one another and to people in your lives, but also doing the same for yourself, because the relationship that is often neglected is the one with who, y'all? With ourselves. Good job, class. I could feel all of I could feel all of y'all jumping in and commenting and things like that. But we are often the relationship that can be neglected, but we are not doing that as a practice here on the Inspiration Station. We're getting out of that, right? Also, this is where people will be coming in to be interviewed, spoken to, loved on as they come to pour out some things about their lives and giving us some good tools for our tool belt and some nuggets of wisdom for us to just carry on within our own lives and add to what we already have, because all of us have great wisdom. We've learned a lot, I'm sure. And like I always tell you, there's no losses that we've ever had. The only L's that we have ever taken have been lessons. So, I'm glad to be here with you guys, and I'm ready to move into what we're going to speak about today. Something interesting, going to be kind of short, but I want to kind of share a story with it, but then kind of break some pieces down that you can take and put into your toolbox, put into your first aid kit, whatever you want to call it. But the title of today is No Pouting or Tantrums in the Waiting Room. No pouting, no tantrums in the waiting room. I know y'all know what tantrums are. I know you know what pouting is for some of you, especially if you have children, or if some of y'all still act like y'all can have those little moments or whatever. We all can. Being an adult, you might pout sometimes. You might have a tantrum if things don't go your way, or you're being impatient, or you're tired of being disappointed. You're tired of having to be put on delay in some areas of your life. Do some of y'all out there, y'all love delays or something? Because I won't be raising my hand. Delays are not always something that I enjoy. But one great thing I love is that my pastor says that every delay works to our benefit, and it absolutely does. And we're going to get into that, and I'm going to explain why that is absolutely true. So even if you're dealing with some delays right now in your life, you just probably want to kick, scream, knock something over, sit with your arms folded, and stick your lip out or whatever. All those types of things. Even if you're grown, it just happens sometimes. You don't have to tell nobody else. You can tell me this is a safe place with me. It's just me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Yeah. But with this title, y'all, I want to give you a quick story. I'm gonna be as quick as I can, be as succinct as I can. But when I was in high school, I went to a school called Maplewood High School in Nashville, Tennessee, when I was a freshman, the beginning of my freshman year. And I couldn't wait to go to this school. My god brother went to this school. He's about 14 years older than I am. So he's about 20 now or something, 25 or something. So no, but I couldn't wait to go to the school because he went there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Maplewood. And I was excited. And I loved their band. Oh my goodness. I could not wait to actually know I was going to be a part of the school and seeing the marching band and pep rallies and going to the games. And it was four rival bands. I think it's still the same. It's a lot more bands now, but it was Maplewood, Whites Creek, Pearl Cone, and Stratford. Back then, going to a game or something where those schools play, it was going to be something to see. Like you needed to watch it from television or something. I loved Maplewood's marching band, and when I went to that school, to Maplewood, and I was so excited. I knew people who were in the band. I was going to the games. I knew a lot of the girls who were the majorettes, the dancers that are in front of the band. And I was just excited. I mean, it was a fun time. And I remember the beginning of marching band season. The music teacher I had was the band director, and I always talked to him, and I would ask him about the songs. I would see the sheet music. I used to read music a lot, and I was reading the sheet music, and I knew what songs they were going to play for the next game, and I was just excited. And he said, Mr. Lennox, do you ever play the instrument? I was like, I played the trumpet because I did when I was in the fourth and fifth grade. So I was like, I played the trumpet, and he was like, you want to be in the band? I was like, sure, I love to be in the band or whatever. And I went home asking my mother, thinking, oh yeah, because my mom played trumpet when she was younger, so she probably gonna be like, oh sure, Josh. I mean, I was good in my grades and everything. I knew I was gonna handle that. And I asked my mother, and she told me, I'm sorry, baby, but no, not at this time. She said, I think this is your first year in a high school. Let's just get you acclimated, and before you start putting so many things on your plate. And with marching band, there's going to be a lot of demand of you after school. Because back then they would practice every day after school up until nighttime, up until nighttime. And my mother was just saying, I think you ought to just sit this out. And she said, you can go to every game and you welcome to go and be, around the band and whatever. She said, but you can't be in the band. And I mean, I was upset. I was hot as fish grease. And I was like, I can't believe you're doing this to me. And I'm excited about something. And I don't ever ask for anything. I mean, if I ever ask you for anything, if I ever asked you anything like off of the color purple, I was just furious. And she understood my frustration, but she just had to let me know, I just think it's best for you to focus on your academics at this time, since you're just getting into high school. And I'm like, this does not make sense. I've had extracurricular activities before. What is wrong with this lady? And so I let it go. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I could ask her if I could be a band booster, because then that way now I wanted to be close to the band. I wanted to be involved. I wanted to be connected, like direct. And I asked her, could I be a band booster? And she politely again told me no. She was like, Josh, No, but you can go watch the band anywhere they go. Wherever whatever the games they're playing, if they go into parades and whatever, you can go. You have my permission, no problem, but you cannot be involved. I was so upset, like attitude, everything. And it was very rare to catch me with attitude because my mom didn't play that. But I mean, having a smart mouth and everything. And, I was treading lightly and I need to be careful because I didn't want to get myself hurt or get my feelings hurt. And I just, there's no way that I could change her mind or anything. And I mean, I would go to the games. And what I really was wanting to get in the band for is because I wanted to be closer to the majorette so I can watch them closer. And I felt like if I was in the band, I would be around them more. I would see them in practice. I don't know what it was. I was just drawn to that type of dancing. And actually, when I would see other schools when I was growing up, living in other states like Florida, Georgia, things like that, my eyes always would go to them because they were just so energetic and they were smiling and they're doing all of these different acrobats on the field and seeing them in these field shows, seeing them in the stands, and I mean dancing with everything they have. I was excited. It did something for me, and I didn't understand why. I'm a dancer, and I was a dancer then. It's just like I was just gravitating to it, and so I had to just spend the rest of that time watching. So those games I watch, I would take pictures. I would try to memorize what they were doing in my head just by watching them. And then here we come. I think the second month, it was like February of the next semester, and my mom was letting me know. Before then, I knew I was going to have to move, but she was, well, we're getting a house built on another part of Nashville, and I was like, okay, so good. You can do a special transfer, right? And she was like, no. She said, you're going to have to go to Hunter's Lane. And I was like, I don't want to go to Hunter's Lane. And I mean, this is the only time my mother, I mean, when I say I had enough, I was mad. And plus, because I went to several different schools growing up from kindergarten on up to that point. I think the only point of time I stayed somewhere for long was fourth and fifth grade and then seventh and eighth grade. Everything else, I was in a school more than one time probably for that grade. And as soon as I let out all out. She let me be expressive. She let me get it off my chest. I was not disrespectful, but I was loud and angry. And she was like, I understand your frustrations. I know you're tired of move. You don't want to move to this school or whatnot, Josh, but we got to do this, baby. And I'm wherever that bus is taking you, that's where you're gonna go. And there was no way she was gonna be able to drive me from where we lived all the way to Maplewood. That would have been way out of the way, way out of the district for me. And I sucked it up and I was just talking all kinds of stuff. I'm just gonna go to school, get my grades, do my work. I ain't gonna do nothing else. She was like, great, that's what I want you to do. I had to transfer schools. And I mean, people at Maplewood were hurt. The principals were hurt. I was very involved. I always spoke to everybody. I was always involved in things. And I went to Hunter's Lane. And I mean, I was trying to make the school sound so bad and maybe thinking my mom would change her mind. And she was not budging. And she was letting me know you can have the best of both worlds. Because now I'm thinking I'm at Hunter's Lane. I can't go over to Maplewood. I can't go do things. I still had access to go to Maplewood. I'm making sense with this story, y'all. Stay with me. But once I was there for sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, because that's where I graduated from, I was still able to be very involved with Maplewood and Maplewood, to the point where some people think that I graduated with them at Maplewood, and I didn't. It's just because I was always around. And I was very much so involved with the band. Sophomore year, I would go wherever they were. I would be taking pictures and stuff. But then my junior year, I bought a camcorder because I worked at Circuit City. Anybody remember Circuit City? That was my first. That was my first job as far as corporate like that. It was like I started working there when I think I was 13 was my first job. But I was like, okay, I got a camcorder. I can record now and I can let them see what they look like. I knew all the majorettes. I knew them all by name. I knew them very well. Some I was very close to. They were like sisters to me. And I really started to practice. I would go home and I would teach myself. Nobody, because again, it was no way I was gonna let anybody know I was interested in that type of dancing or that I was intrigued by it. So I would teach myself. So again, my junior year though, I was starting to travel with the band. It wasn't like I was a band booster, but I paid my dues. I had my shirt. I had I could go into anywhere they went when they traveled to go to other schools, when they did other events, battle of the bands, whatever. I could go. The band director, they had no problem. And then my mother became a band booster. Can y'all believe that? She became a band booster. Mind you, I'm at another high school and I'm heavily involved in things at my high school too. I'm a leader of all kinds. I'm involved in the show choir. I'm in the honor society. I'm a peer leader. I'm in the beta club. I mean, the list goes on. And I was involved with both schools heavily when it came to marching band. That's where I was greatly for Maplewood. And then I supported people who were basketball players and things. I knew a lot of the people from middle school. So, and even up until like the sixth grade in elementary school. So I was everywhere with the band, recording, 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 but they had no idea I was at home learning, learning, learning. Senior year came around, same thing. Learning, 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 teaching. But at this point, there were two specific majorettes on Maplewood Squad that they were like my sisters, and I was teaching them choreography just a few things that I made up. And they were like, "You gotta no, tell them that you need to come to practice with us and let them know. We didn't know that you could do da 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 da." And I was like, "No, absolutely not. But tell them that you made it up. Tell them you made it up. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it." I was practicing all the time, y'all. When I say I would record them on a Friday night game, then Saturday turn around, and if I didn't have to go to work or something, I would go through it for hours by myself and I would teach myself. I learned how to mirror. I would look at, mirror if it looked like the left hand or whatever. I had to figure out if that's the left hand or the right hand, how is the body moving or whatever. And I was not used to moving that way, but I kept working at it over and over and over and over again. Fast forward, I go to UTC my freshman year. I'm just a freshman. I'm singing in the gospel choir. I always got to be involved. I want to be involved in something. And I remember there was a few girls who created a squad and they were called Elite, UTC Elite, but they were just an organization. But they asked the band director if they could dance with the band. And, this was a predominantly white institution. And then again, it was a nine of them. And they wanted to start dancing. They debuted at the last football game. Then they danced for basketball season or whatnot. And I was asked by one of the ladies who were the girls who I actually went to high school with, but she was a grade over ahead of me. She knew I was involved with Maplewood. I'm telling y'all, everybody knew. And she just felt like, I know you probably know about the dancing and this, that, and the other, and I know you can choreograph stuff or whatever. And she asked me if I would come and kind of start working with them. This was the before football season started for my sophomore year. I was like, no. But I ended up saying yes. So a handful of the girls, the main principal people who started it the year prior, watched me and they were like, please work with us. Please, please, please. So I started working with them and I became their coach. I became their choreographer. But after the first game, it was, got them together. Everybody was kind of surprised. So they were like, is that the same squad from last year? And people had talked really bad about them and dog about them. And it wasn't that they were bad. They just needed some guidance. They needed some work. They needed some help. And here comes Josh. And I never knew that was going to happen. And then after a homecoming, when some girls got in trouble, I became the person on. I started dancing with them. So yeah, I think y'all know this story, but not gonna go any further. But to say the least, my mother telling me no led me to observe, watch, study, majorettes in high school, and then not knowing. Fast forward some years later, I would go on a collegiate level, and I would be doing the very thing I admired on a collegiate level, and nobody taught me. I had to learn myself, but I had such proximity to them. I would be at their practices sometimes, so I paid attention to field formations, how they set themselves up, how they would go out, how they would march, how they would do certain new things, how they would change up things, how they sat down, how they had discipline, no talking in the stands, and how their hair was uniform. All of these different things I didn't realize I was having to absorb. And if I had been in the band, I would have missed all of that because I would have had to be paying so much attention to my trumpet. I wouldn't have been able to see all of the things that they were doing, and I wouldn't have gotten to to gravitate to some of those young ladies and become like brother to see, other things behind the scenes that they work on. So getting to college, bam, here I am, out front and center, out front and center until I graduated and not knowing all of that stuff I was watching and observing. And I got, it was going to be put to great use. And did I know everything that I was doing at first? No, I had to figure some things out as I went along. But some things naturally just came out of me. Even choreography, people were thinking like, "Oh my God, you were training ballet and training modern and jazz." And I was like, "No, it was not." But my point when I talk about this tantrum, not pouting, I was so upset with my mother. But if she hadn't have said no, I wouldn't have gotten all of that exposure. I wouldn't have gotten all of that observation that I got to have every Friday night in my face, for those next few years, and watching and learning things, learning I mean, everything, how to put stuff to music, or when you make up stuff, it should go to pretty much any song if you can, if it's fast, slow, whatever it is. All of these things I was able to just kind of create and brainstorm with, not knowing what I was about to use as the years were coming by. So it's the same thing. We look at how God does with our lives. Sometimes He delays us, and you want to do something so bad. And the focus was, I wanted to actually dance, but I knew that wasn't going to happen because that never happened before. You don't see guys do this. So I was like, I already knew, okay, that's not going to happen, but I still love it, and I could use it as a good cardio cardio exercise, and it was something I could enjoy in private, not knowing the very thing I was doing in private, God was about to do openly. Just like even the word says that what you do in private, I will reward openly. And he did. And I didn't even, it was a harsh desire. It really, really was. But I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to ever do this in public, but I can do it at home and I can enjoy it. I can make it feel like I'm in front of people and I could just use my imagination, not knowing that I was actually planting a seed into where I was going to go that I had yet to see before. But it's something about me that was so drawn to it, I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't stop it. But that's how God does it sometimes. We want to do something so bad sometimes. He's like, no, 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 just no, not just stay focused where you are right now. You can still be exposed to certain things, but but God, I want to do this. I want to do. He's like, no, no, not yet, or no, no, just telling you no about something, and you don't even know. You're just probably being delayed because there's some things He might need to expose you to, some character building He might need to do through you, some discipline He might need to teach you, some things He might want to take His time with you on because you don't even realize the magnitude of what that very thing you're desiring to do or be a part of can be such, it's bigger than what you think it is. So I just have a few points. I told you I'm trying not to be so long, but I wanted to, you'll understand why. The first thing is that, sometimes you can be in the vicinity and but not in the proximity. I was in the vicinity of marching band. I was in the, I'm thinking I just want to be in the band, not knowing the real proximity of that is me being a dancer, being in the forefront of a marching band. I didn't even, it's almost like you're looking at such a small piece of a big picture. It's like you're in the proximity or you're close to whatever it is, but you don't know what the target area is for you. I wanted to be in the marching band. I wanted to play the trumpet. Okay, that is me being close. But I really wanted to dance. But I threw that off the table because I knew that was something that was never going to happen. You weren't going to see no guy dancing in high school, and you just weren't going to see that. You can now, though. But I didn't think that was going to happen. So I was right there though. So it's like I just had a small glimpse of what was going to come. But what about you? What about you might be a person who you keep going to this certain business or whatever, and you just keep being drawn to this business or whatever it is, and you don't even know. You just saying, I want to work there, I want to work there. And God might be saying, not yet, because He might want you to become the owner at some point. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the very things you're desiring to do might be actually small. It's small in the grand scheme of what God really wants to do. And so He's delaying you for a moment. And it's not something that He's not going to do. It's just not yet and not like as small as you're thinking. You're thinking too small. Also, don't doubt that you can do something just because you haven't seen it yet. Just because I hadn't seen a guy dance before, I threw that out the window. I've seen the twirlers, I've seen the color guard, I saw that, but an actual dancer that was dancing in front of the band, I had never seen that before, so I already threw it away. So like even ask yourself right now, what are some things that you are doubting that you can do or that you're capable of doing just because you've never seen it done before? You might be saying, "Oh, I don't," and again, it doesn't have to be so how can I put it? You always can make history in any way, and it doesn't have to be put on such global platform. But maybe you're doubting that you can have a successful marriage because you've never seen it around you, or maybe you're doubting that you can have a successful business because that's not something that you went to school for, or something that was really modeled before you. So it's like, well, I'm just not even gonna worry about that because I've never even seen that. So I'm not even gonna just entertain that. Let me say this too. I'm gonna say this slow. You may do what's never been done or do what has been done in a way that's never been done before. You may do what's never been done or do what has been done in a way that's never been done before. Sometimes making history doesn't mean you're actually doing something from scratch. It might be that you flip whatever that has been done in the world or in your life, your family, your community, and you do it in a way that it is never been ever even thought about. So that's like if someone, we all know people can sell lemonade, right? You have a lemonade stand. Y'all remember the lemonade stands on the corner and stuff like that? Somebody have a lemonade stand right now. It's probably going to be about $5 for a little cup. But you have a lemonade stand and somebody's like, oh, okay, that's, yeah, we're all used to seeing lemonade stands. Somebody saying, well, I want to do something like that, but I'm not really sure if I want to do it like that though. I don't know if I want to, but are people going to come to me if I sell lemonade too? It's like, but maybe that person wants to sell lemonade, but they want to do different flavors. They want to do raspberry lemonade. They want to do, I don't know, other flavors. Y'all know, y'all help me out. You get what I'm saying? They want to do a lemonade stand, but they want to do different flavors. So it's not that they're not doing something that people don't do, having a lemonade stand, but what they're doing is that they have different flavors at their stand. So that sets them apart and it's something that's different. So don't doubt what you desire and what you have a vision for, even if it's being delayed right now. Don't throw it away just because you may be thinking that it can't happen because it's never been done before. It's never been publicly done before, and it may have never been done intimately in your life before. Also, you're being prepared for what hadn't been produced yet. You're being prepared for what hadn't been produced yet. Just because it hasn't been produced doesn't mean that it hasn't been in cultivation. Before I was dancing, it was cultivating. It was inside of me. I wanted to do that type of dancing. It was something that I just could not turn loose. So I didn't realize what it was going to produce later. The hours of me dancing in the house and almost getting my behind tore at one time because I busted a speaker because I would do it when nobody was at home. And I would have the music up super loud. I would have my camcorder. I would record myself. I'm so glad them tapes are disposed somewhere. I don't know if they probably they're long gone, but I was recording myself to see how. I mean, I was kind of stiff. I wasn't as fluent yet or whatever, but I would practice with everything I had, and I just really knew, oh, I'm not gonna do, but I mean, it's gonna be fun to do it at home, but. I didn't realize I was actually something was not being produced yet, but it was being cultivated inside of me. So again, for you, what have you been doing behind closed doors? What have you been doing in private? What have you been doing in your psyche, in your mind? What have you been writing down? What have you been brainstorming that you really would like to do? And you're giving it all you have, but maybe you feel like it's never going to happen because you haven't gotten the green light yet, or even you haven't been, it's not been implemented yet, or it's something that you've been procrastinating on, or it's just not the time for it yet. Sometimes there is a holding pattern, there is a waiting time that we have before we're actually able to execute some things. But behind the closed doors, we're able to do something, even if you're not able to execute it yet. Even in that time, what are you doing? You go sometimes, like I was saying, you got to study, research, practice, whatever that is, because there are things that you can be doing in the meantime and whatever you're desiring. And again, if you want to be a great spouse, okay, start learning how to cook. Start making sure you know how to keep a house clean. Start making sure you know how to plan certain things, how to schedule certain things. Maybe you schedule date nights in your head where you want to certain things that you would want to do if you were in a relationship or if you were dating or when you do get married. This stuff goes back to us being kids, having an imagination. You act, you had somebody who act like you play house, and a person will act like the wife, and somebody act like the husband, somebody act like the kids and stuff. There's no different. It's like, but it's not just imagination. We can call it just faith. We start speaking things that are not as though they were. We start acting like things are happening, even though if they haven't manifested, if they haven't come to pass yet, you act like it. You could not tell me if you could have seen those tapes and me even thinking back to those practice times that I would do, you could not tell me that I was not getting ready to go perform that weekend or perform whatever because you would thought I was a part of something already. I wasn't, but I couldn't leave it alone. I couldn't leave it alone. And I'm so glad that I had that time to prepare, get my body to move differently or whatnot. I just didn't know that I was going to go to college and it was going to be a need for me at that specific time and appointed time. And then for me to be put in the forefront for the world to see. And then also to make history. The very thing I doubted would ever happen, it ended up coming through me to make history with it. The very thing that I thought I doubted could ever happen through with me became history. What are some things that you're doubting that can come, that you don't think can happen through you that might be making history on a global stage, like I did, or it might be in any way. It doesn't matter. It's going to be major either way it goes, whether it's in an intimate, private space or whatever that is, or if it's to the world. Um, Also, if it's tugging at you for a reason. Whatever's inside of you is keeps tugging you and calling out to you for a reason. TD Jake said years ago, he said that you've already been exposed to who you're becoming and where you're going. Sometimes we just don't realize it until we get there and we're like, oh wait, so that all makes sense why I did all of this and did all of that. Okay, it makes sense why that didn't work out for me at this time. And it wasn't until now when I needed to do whatever it is. It's tugging at you for a reason. So just don't ignore it. I'm glad I didn't ignore what I did because I just would have, who knows, I probably would have missed the opportunity. God would have given it to somebody else. So it's like if you have a healthy tugging at something, not unhealthy stuff. If you have a healthy tugging at something, it's a reason, it's calling out to you. It's something in you that it only can come through you. And it doesn't always have to be on the world stage. It could just be within your family. It could be within your friend group. It could be within your job. It could be within your community. There's something about you that is needed and for whatever it is. So I think that also ties to just making sure you don't start minimizing or second guessing yourself because it's tugging at you for a reason. It's something you've got to produce and it's only can come through you. Lastly, I want to say stay productive in the waiting season until your name is called. Stay productive in the waiting room until your name is called. You think about going to a doctor's office or a dentist or anything of that nature, and you're sitting in the waiting room, you're doing something. You're either on your phone playing a game, you might be texting, you might be checking your emails, you might actually be even talking on the phone. Sometimes people do that and they whisper, and even though they tell you don't be on the phone in the waiting room, you might be reading a magazine, reading a book, talking to the person who you're with, talking to somebody who you don't even know because you both are waiting on to be called. You might be staring at the wall. You might be looking around. You might be people watching. There's something that you're doing. You might even be asleep, catching you a quick nap. But there's something that you can be doing while you're waiting on your name to be called for whatever it is. And as I was saying, waiting to be called, that means being productive with your life. When I was dancing and things, I was still going to school. I was going to school. I was a leader of several different things at my high school. I was still working, so my life was still going on, but I would still come back and give attention to this dancing for some reason, always. But it was like something is with this. I don't know what it is yet, but it's some reason why I cannot stop doing this. And it's fun. I just don't know what I'm doing with it yet, but I'm not going to stop not knowing that when my name was called, in a sense, when I was a sophomore, the beginning of sophomore year, needing to be helped, I was able to get up and walk through that door. Even though I didn't really know what was on the other side of it. And remember, like I tell y'all, sometimes you're prepared in something. I'm sorry, but prepared before and you're prepared within. It was both for me. I was prepared up until that point when my name was called. Can you be our dance? Can you teach us? Can you be our choreographer? Becoming a choreographer and a coach to then being a captain and being over all of it, all of it on my shoulders. Only guy. So, and then making history, which again, and just doing what I was doing was great and amazing, but it brought about a lot of unfavorable stuff too that we're not going to talk about. A lot of things you have to go through when you are the first of something, when you are the only person, or when you're doing something that's unorthodox, that's not usual, that's not common. People can get threatened by that. People even that you lead get threatened by that. So, in the waiting room, I was just working and doing all the stuff I was doing, but I was still giving attention to what my something I had a passion about, and not knowing that when my name was called to help, not knowing going through that door what that was going to mean. And I was prepared greatly, but at the same time, there were some things I was not ready for or I was not really prepared for or could be prepared for, but I was being prepared while I was in it. So again, the premise of this, y'all, I'm done, but the premise of what I want you, when I say about tantrums and no pouting, I had that bad attitude. My mother denied me being in the band, but it was for something greater ahead that I didn't even realize. You don't need to be in the band. You need to be watching them girls because you're going to be doing something like this, but on a collegiate level, and it's not been done before. So even in your life right now, think of where you have felt delayed and you have such a gravitation and pull towards something and not even understanding why yet. Not even understand. You ask God sometime, like, why am I doing this or why am I doing that? And he's like, yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing, and I'm going to show you. Though you may not know what I'm doing right now, later on you will. That's what his word says. And that's what I had to figure out. So it's almost like, too, my mother was, in a sense, like God's voice. And my mother was very prayerful over me, always has been, still is to this day, y'all. But so I believe she had a discernment to say, no, you can't be in the band, but you can watch. You can go to the games as much as you want to. You can go be with the band as much as you want to. I don't think she specifically knew, but it was something about her spirit that knew, no, don't get involved like that, but you can watch. That's the biggest thing. And some of y'all, the biggest thing right now is you watching, observing, paying attention, because the very thing that you're looking at, that you're desiring to do, is bigger than what you think. It's not going to just be, for me, it wasn't just being a dancer. I became a dancer and it was not something that was supposed to happen technically, but I became not just a dancer, but I was the choreographer, the coach. So I was a leader I had multiple hats. I was a father figure, a big brother, a counselor, a teacher. I mean, you name it, big cousin, whatever you want to call it, everything, so many different things. So it's like so many other things came out of me once I did it. But I was just looking at a small piece of a bigger picture that I had no idea about. And some of you are right now. So don't be discouraged if you feel like you're not doing certain things you desire to do right now, because you could be delayed because you're looking at it too small. Could be so many bigger pieces to this puzzle of yours that you haven't tapped into yet. But don't stop doing what you are doing. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop having visions. Don't stop writing stuff down. Don't stop having your vision boards. Don't stop putting action towards something, even if it's not executed yet. Okay. So what do we learn, y'all? We're going to be in vicinity sometime, but maybe not we don't have the proximity. You might be around it, but you're not as close to whatever it is yet. You're not clear also on the full picture yet. You don't know the target area yet. Don't doubt things just because you haven't seen it before, because you may do something that's never been done before, or you'll do what has been done before, but in a way that's never been done before. Also, you're being prepared for what has not been produced yet, but it's being cultivated on the inside of you. It's stirring up on the inside of you. Your gifts, your talents, your skills, your abilities are being stirred up in a way for you to execute something that you have not seen visibly yet. Also, it's tugging at you for a reason. If you keep getting that tug, it's for a reason. Whatever it is, it could be even a problem that you need to solve. We're all put here to solve problems on this earth. There are things that we have that have been implanted in us, certain heart's desires that we have, and it continues to healthily tug at you for a reason. So don't ignore it. Don't silence it. Also, stay productive in the waiting room until your name is called. Because just like in a sense with Joseph in the Bible, after he told the butler and the butler and the cook, the chef, he told them I said the chef, the cook, the butler and the cook, when he told them their interpretations of dreams, and when he said, don't forget me, don't forget about your boy down here. If somebody else need a dream interpreted, or you need some help, don't forget about me. Well, they didn't call for him until 2 years later, when Pharaoh had a dream and he needed someone to interpret it 2 years later. So in that time, it wasn't like Joseph was sitting around twiddling his thumbs. He was doing what he was doing in the prison. He was still having to do his day-to-day routines or whatnot. But when he was called upon, his gift was ready to be put to work. He interpreted the dream. Then he became second in command to Pharaoh without any experience, without any resume, none of that. So again, like myself, called to something that I literally didn't have a resume or background in, but I had exposure. I had exposure and also a level of talent and gifting. So same thing for you. I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight. I did not mean to talk this long. I love y'all. I think it just started to outpour. Some things came out that I wasn't even intending to speak about, but I hope that all of this made sense to you. I hope that you're applying this to your life. I hope that your wheels are spinning right now on areas of your life where you might have kicked and screamed and been pouting and stuff because you feel like things are not going the way you want it to go, or your passions or things are not happening. Your dreams or visions are not happening like you think they are, but it might be because it's not. It's you're looking at it too small because it's so much greater in scope and in dimension than you could ever imagine. It's going to be bigger than what you think. So I will see y'all again next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And my lovely international family, with your variety of time zones, you all know what that is. So I hope that you all have enjoyed the rest of this Friday. Yeah, it's Good Friday. I don't know if you all are going to be on Sunday. A lot of you celebrating, as they call Easter, but also we really refer that to as the Resurrection Sunday to mark when Jesus got up with all power in his hands. I don't want to end up, so I almost feel like singing the blood or something, but I hope that you all have a great rest of this evening, safe weekend, happy Resurrection Sunday to each and every one of you, and I look forward to seeing you next Friday. Please spread love now more than ever because it absolutely starts with you, and we need the unity as much as possible. It's going to be a great rest of this evening. It's going to be a great month for all of us. I'm excited to see about the things that are coming for my life and also for your life. You have always been great. You're just getting better, and you're finally embracing it. You've always been great. You're just getting better, and you're finally embracing it. Love somebody, and make sure you love yourself. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.